All right, change colors. What the hell? If you would like to keep the heat going, because when we walked in here, it was 58 degrees. Well, nothing like that smell of freshly ignited heater to, yeah. Donate here. All monies raised go to keeping us comfortable so that we can bring you more quality entertainment. If you like coffee, King Harv's Coffee, um, www.kingharv.com. Excellent coffees. Several of them uh, are inspired by us, for better or worse. Um, nice guys. When you order from them, be sure to let them know you heard about it here. Um, tinyurl.com among the leaves tees. Smart Aleck t-shirts. Friend of ours. Also, if you order a t-shirt from them, let them know you heard about it from us. All right, let's see here. Good God, the comments are full already. Woo!
Well, people are surprised that it's Jim's not here.
Well, Jim's back is still goobered, so he's out again. So the Iraq Press blend is really good, Jesse. I tend to find it more of a mild breakfast coffee. Um, I tend to like my coffee that's a little fuller bodied, but it's a really good light breakfast coffee. It really is. Um, in the news, our CEO hitman got popped in a McDonald's, apparently ordering a McRib while eating his McRib and surfing McDonald's Wi-Fi. This, of course, has spawned any number of, and he had the gun, the silencer, and a whole bunch of literature, or excuse me, a manifesto on his person, on or about his person. This, of course, has spawned any number of internet conspiracy theorists that nobody's that dumb. Just stop. Yes,
People
they are that dumb. 99.9% of the criminals I've had to deal with in a 26-year career in law enforcement are not only that dumb, they're dumber. So yes, no, he is that dumb. FBI plants and all that are not required. He is that damn dumb. So just stop with the conspiracy.
It might be. I mean, with our FBI, I wouldn't bet against it being a conspiracy.
No,
I don't say it's necessary because, like you said, the stupidity of the average American.
The average criminal, they're that damn dumb.
But I'm just saying that with our FBI, it could be certainly I could see it being a plant. We'll pop this guy and we'll try him and then we'll get this off our radar and then we'll quietly let him out and everybody will forget about him in 2 weeks after the trial.
No, they won't. Dawn Keenan, good friend of ours, farm girl, is a dispatcher at a sheriff's office, and she said that the simple fact that he didn't live stream it on Facebook makes him smarter than most of them, and she's not wrong. She's not wrong, and just because he's Ivy League does not mean he's smart.
Matter of fact, it's an indication of the opposite.
Uh, when you're criming, there are different varieties of smart. When you're criming requires a certain level of smarts. Your average tofu eating socialist is not capable of wrapping his tiny little mind around. So,
well, they don't have to be because the cops are so stupid that they'd never catch them.
Right.
I mean, the average cop is dumber than any civilian. Certainly, anybody with a Harvard degree.
I don't know about dumber, but that's what they think. Training is somewhat lacking, but that's a rant for another time. I was going somewhere else and now I forgot.
Well, I got something good to talk about.
It's cool.
Daniel Pinnock.
Oh yes.
Now, it looked like it was all set up to slam dunk him away.
Oh, no kidding.
And I'm
They
wondering,
they loaded the scales on that young man, something fierce.
whether this isn't saying that the average juror is now less hard left than it used to be in New York City. When I say that, uh, I'm wondering if people aren't finally reacting to the way things have been the last few years and starting to go, well, maybe we need a country again.
I would be amazed if they weren't. The lady who the jury expert, the lady helped pick the Rittenhouse jury. Um, she apparently went for people that had a her jurors who had a previous negative experience on the subway with urban outdoorsmen. Um, so it wouldn't surprise me if the jury, the average New Yorker who's too dumb to get out of jury duty, um, isn't sick and tired of the BS. Would not surprise me. However, the shenanigans, and I use that politely. I'm going to use the courteous word. The shenanigans that the prosecution pulled, and the judge let them get away with, were mind blowing. They loaded that deck. They stacked the deck against that kid, and the amazing thing is, and the thing that really, as a law enforcement, retired law enforcement dude, what blows my mind is there was at least one person who thought that he had recklessly killed that guy, because at least one, they hung the jury on the manslaughter charge, and then over the weekend came back, and the charge that doesn't require the same level of elements, they said, no, nah, he's not guilty of that. I that I know jurors aren't exactly logical, but that really kind of bakes my noodle a little bit. It really does. Um, yeah, no, I'm glad that young man was acquitted. I am. Um, in a sane world where the prosecution and the judge isn't stacking the deck, he should be done. The manslaughter charge was dismissed, and he was acquitted of the negligent homicide. This his. It wouldn't surprise me if Bragg tried to come and reverse the dismissal. I'm not saying he will. It just he shouldn't be able to. But there are a lot of things he shouldn't have been able to do that he got away with. Um,
Is there something wrong with the prosecutors in New York? I mean, the whole Trump thing was absurd.
no, well, bearing in mind that Bragg got in, his one of his stands on his one of his platforms was getting Trump, and apparently that was enough to get him voted into office. So we already knew he was dirty. Um, you should not run a platform of getting someone. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how evil they are. You should not run a political platform.
On finding a way to get somebody,
Yes,
not even if it's Al Capone.
not even if it's Al Capone. Getting someone. I'll have to sit because a whole bunch of concepts up here. My squirrels are at attention right now. Um, Getting somebody is not your job. Um, Most prosecutors have the error of thinking that getting people is their job. It's not. Um, Upholding justice is their job. And there's a famous movie scene where, and my squirrels have just lost their glow stick. Fuck. Famous movie scene where somebody asks somebody else about um, basically breaking the law to go after somebody. And a very passionate response is that he would give the devil himself the benefit of the doubt, the benefit of the law, because to do otherwise is inconceivable. And I'm a big fan of the better to let 10 guilty men free than punish one innocent man. Big fan of that. And a whole bunch of prosecutors have forgotten that aphorism. It is better to set 10 guilty men free than to convict or punish one innocent man.
Well, it seems to me like the prosecutors in the United States want easy convictions, and it's a money game in many cases. I've seen repeat offenders that cops, we aren't going to arrest him. They're just going to let him go because he's not going to pay a fine. He's not going to, if he'll enjoy the time in jail if we give him any jail time because it's winter time, and he's not going to bother him. On the other hand, a reasonably straight laced guy that works and all that stuff, well, he's going to pay up. He's going to do what he can to follow the law, and let's just get him if we can. I've seen some of that.
That's another thought. It's a bad day for thoughts right now.
Your brain's still in the deep freeze from sitting on the porch this morning.
No kidding. I actually had a. Anywho, I'm the wrong person to ask about prosecutorial overreach.
This is true.
Or exactly the right person to ask.
Oh no. Mr. Penny, there's a very, very, very tiny chance that Daniel Penny will ever watch this. But if he wants my advice, he'll get the hell out of New York. The man, he doesn't have a future there. He really doesn't.
If you are not insane, take my advice, get the hell out of New York, California, Chicago.
He's already been threatened. And as a retired law enforcement type, I consider threats to be credible. He was threatened in the courtroom, and the freaking DA didn't do a thing about it. He was directly threatened in the courtroom. What's his nuts, the New York BLM guy, when he points at him and says, "It's a small fucking world, buddy," that's a threat. I felt threatened. Just he needs to pack up. There's a civil suit is pending. I don't think it should be. I think, but it is. That's neither here nor there. Civil suit is pending, but he doesn't have to stay in New York to. He can fly in to depose. A lot of places, I'm sure New York will be happy to take video depositions if needed, and he can fly back for the trial. He needs to get out. Get out. I understand he's an architecture student, may have his degree already. There are plenty of places in Middle America that need architects. There are. Corpus Christi, San Antonio,
in Middle America,
Oklahoma City. He's got a target on his back. There are enough idiots frothing at the mouth, guano psychotic idiots in New York that would consider it a feather in the cap to ding him. And also, I remember squirrels. I've been reading about a case where a young gentleman about Mr. Penny's age stabbed a panhandler to death over a perceived threat. I mean, shanked him 11 times. Was arrested, and the same DA declined to press charges. Male, about same age, the decline to press charges on somebody who shanked a panhandler, an aggressive panhandler. He was ethnic.
Well, that's means that he was innocent.
I mean, this guy, and I consider him to be no less a hero than Mr. Penny. Apparently, from the overview I'm getting, panhandler was missing somebody. This kid shanked him 11 times. Whole bunch of air in, a whole bunch of blood out. Arrested, declined to press charges. Penny didn't shank him. And everybody knows that I practice judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? Um, when we train, when we go to randori, which is freestyle cats in a bag, you end with a joint lock or a choke, and the choke E is supposed to tap out. You pat, and you're done. We're also usually told to wait to the last minute to tap out. We are allegedly training ourselves to last longer in a choke, which means that frequently, night night, and you roll over, put their knees up, pat them, and then tell them to get back on the into randori. I have never. I started in '94 or '95. I've never ever in all the chokes I've done, in all the chokes I've seen, I've never ever seen anybody severely injured from a choke. That's not including UFC and other mixed martial arts. How many of those rear naked chokes? It's a rear naked choke. Good night, Irene. Um, and chokes in MMA don't produce lasting damage. There's no reason whatsoever. And law enforcement used to teach what we called a lateral vascular neck restraint. Rear naked choke. Lateral vascular neck restraint was fantastic.
Well, it used to, rather than calling it choke, they called it a sleeper hold.
Sleeper hold.
And that was what it was. You held the guy till he went to sleep.
And the thing about lateral vascular neck restraints that we're learning, I'm from the age that we choked a lot. Law enforcement choked a lot of people out. Something that we're suspecting and we're starting to see evidence of is excited delirium deaths. Excited delirium being in a rough nutshell, excited delirium, you're on dope, you're on something dumb with psychosis added, and your body temperature ramps up out of control. And what happens is officers are on top of the critter, and he starts fighting, and he can't stop fighting. Body temperature ramps up, makes his brain, him are dead. Because you can't stop. That becomes a failure cascade. Your body heats up, and it becomes a failure cascade that is fatal, and you can't stop it. Once it starts, you can't stop it. Other than B-52 on hand, excited delirium, once people recognize what's happening, you pretty much have to start it in the waiting room of the ER for medical intervention to have an effect. However, what we're learning, or what we suspect, and we're starting to get some evidence of, if you choke them out, it resets. And once they start the excited delirium cascade, you choke their happy asses out. They reset to zero. It hits the reset button. Anyway, moving on. Other news. Oh, if you are following the Substack, I posted a Neener write up today.
I read it.
You read it? Posted a Neener write up today, and apparently on Substack, when I go off at somebody or have a rant, we get good engagement. What is wrong with you folks? We get a better engagement when I'm going off on somebody than we're making announcements. What the hell, guys?
Well,
show the love to the
on the live stream. The favorite thing to do is to either break Ian, break Jim, or get Ian on a rant. I mean, that's enjoyable. I don't know. It's popcorn time. You know, why do you think we ask you about pink monkeys all the time?
Bastards. Oh, okay. That was a rant I hadn't planned, but okay, what the hell? Apparently, not only are there more loose criminal organizations of simians in Florida than I had known, but at least one set of little bastards is in a parking lot, and they're vervets. I was looking at this. Somebody sent me a video because they like to watch me lose my mind. Somebody sent me a video of people in Florida. What the hell is wrong with you people? Feeding a bunch of vervets in a parking lot in Florida. And I realize that the majority of folks don't have the luxury of a childhood in Africa. So let me explain what a vervet is. A vervet is all the charm and discipline of a baboon stuffed into a 9-pound bag of stink. Vervets are psychotic. They, worse than most monkeys, they don't like people. They don't like other monkeys. They don't like anything. They don't even like each other.
They don't even like themselves.
They only like themselves most of the time. When I say that monkeys would cheerfully load the entire human race into cattle cars heading for camps without a second thought, vervets would be leading the pack. Why, in God's good name, are people feeding these verminous little shits in a parking lot?
Why, in God's good name, do we have laws protecting geese that are in parking lots? People ain't got good sense.
At least geese don't give you monkeypox.
Yeah, well, I'll take monkeypox over car wrecks from so much goose shit in the parking lot that you can't drive.
Consider it training for driving on ice.
Or, for that matter, from being attacked by geese, which is not fun.
You can eat geese.
Not in Ohio because, you know, they got all these laws about if you take one down, then
you're not in Ohio anymore. You're in Texas.
Yeah, and I'm living in a bird sanctuary.
Good point. No, okay, listen, vervets. A vervet, that 9-pound bag of stink, will run up your arm and rip your face off. He will give you monkeypox along the way. Okay? Leave the simian little rodents alone or shoot them from a distance. I don't care. Napalm the parking lot. It's all good. Stop feeding them.
I wonder how many laws they got against shooting in that particular area.
I don't know. I found out there's a monkey sanctuary in Texas. I almost lost my mind. There's probably a monkey sanctuary here. Oh, bastards.
Now, I assume you're saying sanctuary as opposed to zoo.
Nope, sanctuary. Some dumbasses founded I think it's a section of land down in South Texas. And they have something sanctuary. And it's got macaques and vervets loose on like 640 acres of prime South Texas turf. I'm just, why? And why are macaques living? Why hasn't Texas killed little bastards off?
What, so that our children will learn to hate them.
Not enough hate. I did, however, when I was researching the Texas Monkey Sanctuary, discover that the entire island of Galveston has an ordinance making a monkey-free zone.
I have to say that
never wanted to live in Galveston before.
Movies for the last 100 years, at least 100 years, have featured these sweet, innocent monkeys that are like little guys that they wear tuxedos and they wear little bellboy suits, and they
did the Nazis.
The monkey in Raiders of the Lost Ark was not sweet or innocent.
He was the true face of when he went. Yeah, that's a monkey. That's a monkey. They looked at the Nazis and went, or the Third Reich went, amateurs. Someone in the history of Galveston has a story to tell about monkeys, probably. Yeah. The rant I was going to go on that I've lost my steam for. I had to go by a lawyer this morning. The legal team at Epic is aggressively ignoring my emails. Epic being the hosting service that has suspended my blog. Neither Cedar nor Jack nor I can get into the back of it to download anything because Epic's sitting on my blog. And I can't get them to answer me. So I'm guessing that a letter from a lawyer is going to be required. Quite honestly, I'm probably, if they haven't back to me by Thursday or Friday, I'm probably going to cough up $30 for a month's access to my blog and spend that month downloading everything somewhere else. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed.
I wonder how much it would cost to set up your own servers and host your own damn blogs.
Well, that's okay. It's not the server that's the problem. We have a server here, and I'm guessing, although the hocus pocus leaves me a little bumfuzzled, I'm guessing we can dump the blog on the server. The problem is the pipe coming into the place of business where Rita runs her business online, and Jonna runs her business online, and Rackenter Press runs their business online, is an itty bitty little straw. And if I have another Nord Stream post,
Yeah.
or for some reason, every once in a while, I wind up with a shit ton of people reading what I write. I have no idea why.
Or if you get insta-launched or something.
I get insta-launched again. That's going to shut our stuff down. It's going to shut Rackenter Press's stuff down, Jonna's shop, and Rita's shop. And that's not. I can't afford a T1 or a T3 line. We've got basic business fiber, which is not bad. I think it's 100 something. It's 100 something. It has been suggested, and probably the route I'm going to go, that we put the blog on the server and then shut, just no more comments, and we mirror the blog on the server and use Substack for the actual, here's where you go to talk. Here's where you go to read and comment. My issue with that, which is it's twofold. There are people, for some reason, that hate Substack with a passion. Won't go there. Which, if we mirror on the server, that takes care of that. The other thing is I'm waiting for Substack to get skin suited by the leftists. And I've been a target for the left, the totalitarian left before, the wokies, for some reason. I thought I was kind and gentle, but apparently I get to be a target every now and then. When I first started, it was Blogspot, and they didn't care. And then they went to Blogger, and they still didn't care, but they wanted you to put, if you did certain things, they wanted you to put an age. There was a popped up age disclaimer. Do you realize that this, are you 18 over? Yes, you can go see it. And Google bought them. And you start, I wanted getting shadow banned for a while. Didn't know it. That's the purpose of shadow banning, I guess. And we moved it off of Blogger to this thing at Epic. And now Epic's gotten stupid.
I know Cedar's gone through Cedar's not nearly as controversial as you. And she's gone through 4 or 5 hosts because they can't seem to do the job after a short period of time. Don't know.
Yeah, the Winkler ID is one of the ones that won't ever go to Substack. I don't have an issue with it. I said that's probably the way we're going to go, simply because I'm not selling enough books right now to be able to afford a big enough pipe to run our own servers. Our own servers with Nord Stream levels of, hell, we shut down Epic. We shut down a commercial with what I got off of 2 Nord Stream posts. Remember that entire month we were dead in the water. And I do that about once a year. I used to do that about once or twice a year. With Blogspot, it wasn't an issue. They didn't care. They had the pipes big enough. Substack, I think, won't care. I'm just When they get big enough, somebody's going to buy them. And the odds of Elon Musk buying or somebody similarly libertarian inclined buying Substack is somewhere between slim and none. It's always the bedwetting liberals, tech kiddies that wind up buying it and then lose their minds over my gun posts or my rights posts or my sincere wishes as to what I'd do if y'all were dumb enough to elect me president of the United States.
Oh, you mean if you were dumb enough to take the position?
Oh, I'd take it. Y'all think Trump's bad.
The one thing I would not want to ever be is president of the United States or any other dictator or whatever. Because, I'd change things. And I'm sure I would go overboard. There are 99. They're supposed to cut it down to 99 departments in the federal government. And, I think that's at least 92 many.
No, I'd go in and they'd be burning me in effigy by day 3, if I'm lucky.
The only reason I think it would take day 3 is it would take them an extra day just to find the material.
Well, first they'd have to walk to Starbucks and finish their soy latte before they get on the free Wi-Fi and get pissed at me. I mean, the first year, I would move every friggin' executive office to a separate state. And y'all got 30 days. Make it happen. You wouldn't have 2 of them in one state. You wouldn't have DOD and Department of State in one state. No, find another one. One state, that limits me to 50 executive branch offices.
Realistically, you could put them all in one state. Northern Alaska comes to mind.
No, that groups them all together, and I want the little bug snipes separated so they can't plot, because they do. They plot. But I'd stick DOD, they've got the Pentagon in Virginia. Okay, no other executive branch can pick Virginia. Find another one. And
Maryland doesn't count.
I think states got Maryland, but why not North Dakota for Treasury or Commerce? I don't care. And most of them, if I happen to make an unannounced visit and less than 50% of the staff are in the office, we don't need that one anymore.
We certainly don't need that sizable one.
Nope, we don't need that office anymore. If you can't put 50% of your people's butts in chairs in their office, yeah, we don't need you. Work from home doesn't count for federal. No, I don't care. Your happy ass shows up where the taxpayers can come see you. Oh, this is a 100-person agency and only 49 people are here when President Lawdog shows up. Well, we're shutting this one down.
Well, there's so many of them that ought to be just shut down on general purposes of they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Cedar's doing a migraine salute about remote work does work. Yes, it does, but not for the feds. I don't care. You're receiving taxpayer money. Your happy ass can sit in a public office where taxpayers can come see you work. For a private organization's business, hell yeah. Remote work all you want. But for taxpayer-funded and paid government employees, no. Sit your ass. There's your desk. Because if you're at home, I would feel guilty sending taxpayers by to watch you work. I don't feel guilty sending them, but tell them to show up at the office. Ian's already rescued small publishing. I don't know about that yet. Apparently, my little Substack post has set a fire in some back channel rooms.
But all you said was neener.
No, wasn't all I said, but oh well.
Oh, that's what it boiled down to.
Yes, for some jobs, Bill, it is more efficient to be remote. It is. Well, I'll say it's debatable. I don't have an issue with it. If you're taxpayer funded with a with the taxpayers paying your salary, your happy ass goes to a taxpayer-funded office where the taxpayers can watch you.
Either that or we put your home information online that if you want to see somebody from the IRS, their home address is X. And
Well,
that puts a big X on them.
They probably have kids or something sprouting. So I would feel guilty sending people's homes, which is why your happy ass has a job to go to. And every government agency gets a different state. And you might want to pick quick because I'm guarantee you the tail end of the bunch gets Alaska.
Well, thing that is, there's how many? I think it was 969 that Elon and the Doge are supposed to be trying to get rid of, whittled down. Can't do one a state if you've got 969 of them.
You're right.
That means we got to get rid of 919.
You're correct, sir.
Well, in that case, what we need to go through is pick the some of the winners. DOD.
State. Gotta have state, unfortunately.
State.
Commerce. Treasury.
Treasury. Although they need to be trimmed. But then again, post office should be privatized because they don't do a damn job.
Winkler, it ain't going to happen. We're better off keeping them home based on the amount of work done. Incorrect, sir. The amount of work done means they're doing too much. They've assumed too much responsibility. So a whole bunch of that amount of work done needs to go back to the states. Take their happy asses into an office. Let's see here. Treasury has COSI, Senate, DOD. No. COSIs do not need to be DOD except in time of war because posse comitatus is a thing. And COSTIs need to have powers, arrest, search, and seizure to do the majority of the jobs they do. I do not want to have anybody in DOD with the ability to arrest, search, and seize civilians. No, we'll figure some place to put them, but not probably attach them to customs. I don't care.
Attach them to the marshal's office.
Or marshal's office, either way.
Is the marshal's a department of their own, or
they're under DOJ? Right now they're in DOJ.
Which is not a bad place for coasties.
No, actually, DOJ probably would be a decent place for coasties. But the coasties, not DOD unless in times of war. If, oh my God, there's so much work, they've got to stay home. Well, that tells me right there they're doing too much. They've subsumed way too much power from the states. So, time to give up some of it and take your happy asses into an office.
Well, of course, going through the Constitution and saying, is this constitutional without some weird stretching of the Commerce Clause or something like that? No. Bye.
Yeah.
Is this constitutional without some weird stretching of some other clause? No. Bye.
My issue with privatizing USPS is a big issue. It hadn't gotten any better. Privatizing with a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, I'm a capitalist. But there's some stuff you privatize it gets more expensive over time. Also, the Constitution says the federal government will take care of the post.
Well,
So the United States Post Office, not Postal Service, Post Office, is a constitutionally mandated function of the federal government. It's pretty federal. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I realize that in the deep, dark ages of the before times, unions were necessary. That is incorrect this day and age, especially federal unions. They are not necessary.
They've become the evil they were formed to fight.
Exactly. AJ's got dead right. They have become the evil they were formed to fight. They are a terrorist organization whose only purpose seems to be is one, enrich a small portion of its members, the cadre, get rich off of it for doing jack divided by shit. And two, to hold the public hostage in order to get more shit from the public. So,
even private unions, GM, before they closed the plant, I knew a lot of people that were in union at GM. And their union reps would brag that you couldn't get fired from GM. If you got fired after the next contract, they'd have them put them back in with all their back pay, just because the person was absolutely worthless and was costing the company more money to have them there than it was than they were worth. There was no reason that they should lose their jobs.
I remember reading a story, 10, 12 years ago. I might have blogged about it. I don't remember. Might be before my blog. About a school in New York it was a school building that had no children in it. And the only inhabitants, the only people that were in that building during the school day were teachers who were not allowed to be around children for whatever reason. And they would show up with a newspaper and a thermos of coffee. They would sit in an unused classroom, read the paper and drink the coffee and BS for a school day, then go home. And they were, 10, 15 years ago, were making six figures because they had sexual assaults against children and stuff like that. But the union wouldn't let them be fired.
They're not, don't think that's uncommon. I know of at least one teacher who was allowed to resign because she was grooming little girls for her pleasure. And of course, all the little girls were going, "Oh, but you've got to protect her because she loves us." And then she went out and got another job at another school and got caught doing the same
damn thing. Also, remember the teachers' unions' enthusiastic support of screwing over kids during the government's late overreaction to COVID. And the teachers' unions enthusiastically supported screwing over an entire generation. By screwing over, I mean developmentally delaying and adding to mental and emotional disruptions. So unions are not real high on my happy list. President Law Dog will not tolerate federal unions because they have not shown themselves to be worth the expense of keeping around.
I won't say exactly federal unions. Let's make it government unions. I don't care whether it's...
President Law Dog would only have authority over the executive branch of the federal government. What states do is up to them.
I'd like him to push for the same thing at the state level. You use the bullet pulpit, I'm saying.
President Law Dog could, discourage state level unions by telling the states, you can have your unions. I'm just going to subtract the amount you spend on them from any money you get from the feds.
The thing that would really set the cat among the pigeons is when I would take a copy of the judgment of Kellogg versus New London, walk down to the UN and staple it to their door. For those of you who don't remember, Kelo versus New London was where it said government could eminent domain property based on maybe being able to make more money later. They seized property in Connecticut because a strip mall wanted to buy it and go in, and they decided that because strip mall would produce taxable revenue, that the eminent domain was perfectly okay. So Kello versus New London, staple the front door of the UN, and they order a battle group to show up off Turtle Bay, and then we have Marines that need exercise, and they go to the UN and start heaving desks and filing cabinets and other crap onto the flight deck of whatever nuclear-powered aircraft carrier happens to be handy, and then steam somewhere else, Port-au-Prince and Haiti coming to mind, and offload it enthusiastically onto the docks.
Well, near the docks.
And then I would take some demo experience and I would reduce Turtle Bay to a lot again and make a free port, thus making a shit ton of taxable revenue and completing Kello v. New London.
Well, yeah, here's the thing about it. If you just remove the UN from that lot, from the building, you have automatically qualified it to make more money than it was making because it wasn't making anything. If you just put in a Walmart there.
No, I want a free port. I want to stick a free port at Turtle Bay. Free port. And then just make money hand over fist from a free port, tax it, because you can, and pay for the dynamite, the marine wages, and everything else. And then since the UN is all about helping the oppressed peoples of the world, they can go to Port-au-Prince or Somalia or I don't care. There's plenty of places they could go where they can be among the oppressed people and knock yourselves out. Just not here.
Where's that place they were always telling me to go that they should send the UN? Oh, yeah. The hot place.
There are so many. Syria?
Yeah. No. The hot place,
Straight down.
Straight down.
Okay.
Yeah, UN can go to hell. That sounds good.
The only thing the UN is there for is to give tin pot dictators the idea they're as good as people. When you have a Human Rights Council at the United Nations that regularly is headed up by Libya and Iran, they're a joke. The United Nations is a joke. They're only there so that tin pot dictators and Russia can pretend they're as good as civilized people. They're not. I don't care. So take your happy asses and U.S. taxpayer money and go somewhere else.
I sort of feel that way about those who say that we have to respect whatever cultures come to the United States because their culture is as valid as ours.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
Nope. I don't care. That is their culture is as valid as ours is the mating cry of some Ivy League liberals that have never left the island of Manhattan.
And I've never seen the bad parts of it.
I've never seen the bad parts. Anybody that's ask your average Marine Lance Corporal, if all cultures are equal. You might want to hold your kids' ears because the response is probably explicit. The UN I dislike the UN greatly. They're useless. They're worse than the United States State Department. That's saying something. They do. They simply exist to give tyrants the illusion of credibility.
And any country that takes in and follows that philosophy, England used to be a second world nation. Well, it used to be a first world nation, then it dropped to second. Now England is definitely third world. I mean, let's face it, the people running it are all Muslims. Apparently,
I saw a link to a story today or yesterday that the number one children's name, boy's name in England is Muhammad.
Yep.
Wow.
And the actual English people are sort of hung out to dry.
They're being preyed upon. The whole I think it was Nottingham, where a bunch of Muslims were grooming an entire village's worth of English female children for sexual abuse, and the cops knew about it, but ignored it because it was Muslims doing it.
And refused to do anything about it after it got into the newspapers because they couldn't do anything because they were Muslims.
As a former cop myself.
Well, and any country that thinks that they can come and arrest American for using free speech because they're in England,
goodness,
don't work that way.
Goodness. No, I grew up overseas, folks. I've seen other cultures, and there are parts of the cultures I truly adore and I've adopted. Um, my little sweetheart has a saying where she'll turn her pretty blue eyes on something and go, hmm, defective culture. She's not wrong. There are defective cultures. There are. And the whole bunch of ivory tower fucktards think, oh, cultures are equal. No, they're not.
And there are defective cultures that are homegrown right here in the United States. The urban, interurban poor culture is extremely defective.
Yeah. But it's not Iran. It's not Iran. It's thinking Iran is right, is their culture is every bit as good as ours. No, it's not. I don't care. I don't care. Cancel me if you want to. I don't care. There are the U.S. The Western culture is a fine one. It really is. It has issues. All of them do. But third world countries do not. Most of them do not have good cultures. Whenever an anthropologist goes out and says, "Oh, this culture is one we should emulate," they're morons. They're hiding something.
How many anthropologists have they found out have gone out?
And lied their asses off?
Well, not the ones lying their the ones that were being honest, but they went out and they saw this culture and they asked questions. They got the answers that the culture figured they wanted to get. Oh, our women are treated better than the men because it's this is a when it was a straight up patriarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, because they told the anthropologists what they wanted to hear, not what the truth was. That has been common through.
I bet I've lit up. I can't see the comments very well. I bet I lit them up. I can't read comments very well, but I think I probably lit them up. No, we do need to remain in the United Nations on the Security Council so we can take a hammer and stop the more egregious bullshit. But as far as the rest of it, no more money. No more money. I'm tired of giving money to people that hate us because they will hate us less. No, they won't. No, they won't. Don't care. I'm tired of these purple-haired alleged females in liberal arts colleges telling me how good the Muslim culture treats its women. I've been there. I've been in multiple Muslim cultures.
I'm also not real fond of these purple-haired ones that say, well, you voted for Trump. We're not going to have sex with you for the next 4 years. And I'm going,
darn.
Damn. Promise? Could you promise,
Darn.
please? I mean, I've got a good woman.
If that's the case, how do we overturn the amendment to get him elected again?
Yeah.
No, so the entire United Nations needs to be relocated somewhere else. If Geneva wants them, that's fine. Otherwise, let's find a shithole where the UN is needed-ish. Port-au-Prince in Haiti, Mogadishu. There's any number of places. Hell, Joburg. You want civilization? Joburg. There you go. Dump their shit on the dock and sail away.
Oh, Liverpool would work.
I don't care. As long as they're not here. I'm tired of them being here. I'm tired of them walking around like cocks of the walk, so proud of themselves and, oh, we're every bit as good. No, you're not. And pay your your parking tickets.
For that matter, diplomatic immunity seems to have been stretched a bit too much over the last few decades.
Diplomatic immunity is a treaty thing, and some version of it is required. It really is.
To some version of it, I'll agree, but not so somebody's grandkids can come in and commit arson, rape, and murder and get away with it because, well, they've got diplomatic immunity.
I'd be perfectly good with taking a long way and shipping them to Dubai. You want civilization? Here's civilization. Bugger off. See a bunch of UN fucktards breaking the law in Dubai. Let's see how your diplomatic community works in Dubai. Oh, you got a rubber hose. My bad. Hey, Jim's on here. Hey, Jim, how you doing? No, just tired of being here. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I'm tired of the American taxpayer being taken advantage of. I'm tired of the American taxpayer footing the bill for the entire damn world. I'm
tired of the American people being the cops for the whole damn world.
Yeah.
I don't care if a bunch of
oh hell, we've gone 55 minutes. I'm so sorry.
I don't care if a bunch of ethnic people in Slovakia hate a bunch of ethnic people in Serbia or who hate a bunch of ethnic people in Croatia. It's not our problem. Let them shoot each other until there's only one ethnic group left.
I don't care. That's the thing. If you give somebody something, unless they're family, if you give a stranger something, he never treasures it as much as something he's earned himself. If you give a stranger freedom, they don't treasure it as much as if they'd earned it themselves. This is people. This is a simple fact of life. If Outer Grostarkia needs to be free, they need to earn it themselves so they'll treasure it. If we give it to them, they don't treasure it as much. So,
Mike, there's no cool nerd stuff going on. We're just ranting about the ills of the world.
I'm annoyed by the blog problem. I'm annoyed by having to go talk to a lawyer. So I've had and Cedar would like us to finish on a high note. So, high note. Wally has finished his novel. Yay! Wally's one of our authors. So it's we're going to be publishing him. So it's great that he's finished his draft. So, hey, in 2025, you get to look forward to a novel from Wally, which will be great. Mike Burke's, Spearman Burke's children's novel is still doing well. Children's book. Thank you, guys. Just remember that it is the Christmas season, and giant counting robots would be a fantastic gift for the Sprogs and Sprogettes of your near, extended, and random families.
For that matter, some of y'all could learn how to count without using your fingers and toes.
Let's see. I don't know what else we've got out. Rita is working on Space Possums. She's also working on Nobody Knows Where a Kitty Cat Goes. So that's gonna. Those will be adorable. Cedar's doing the illustrations, so you'll know they'll be fantastic. There was an enthusiastic response to me doing a book about stuff I've learned with Cedar illustrations. Quite honestly, that's probably going to be a 2027 release. It was gently pointed out that some of the stuff that I post on my blog really needs to go by a lawyer first. Rocket Candy, while fun, and I think relatively harmless, might get us in trouble. If somebody uses our recipe, has our book in one hand and a giant jug of rocket candy in the other, and burns down half of town, I have a lawyer go. So,
Rocket candy is good, harmless fun for values of who you are. In our hands, a machine gun is good, clean fun. In the hands of a 5-year-old, not so much.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had a lawyer tell me that. He said, so you are going to write a book that includes multiple recipes for rocket fuel aimed at 8 to 12-year-olds. And I said, yeah. And lawyer said, 8 to 12-year-old boys. And I went, yeah. And said, lawyer, we need to sit down and have a long talk about this. Well, okay.
I saw a toy on YouTube the other day, and I'm thinking about getting one or making one. It's a cannon. You put a firecracker in the back, screw it shut, and the fuse sticking out. You drop a couple of firecrackers down the front.
Yes, I've seen those.
You think those would be fun to play with?
Oh, it'd be a blast to play with. I thought the matchstick rockets, the first rockets that Chris and I ever made were the matchhead rockets, and it's amazing, simple and amazing. Also, probably a bad idea. Although I will go to the bats on that one. That the matchhead rockets have got to stay in the book. But quite honestly, I was looking at my notes on this. Yes, I have notes. Try to hold your surprise. It's basically the Boy Scout handbook pre 1980, and other than Cedar's artwork, I'm not sure that people are going to pay good money for basically the Boy Scout handbook pre 1980.
I saw a thing the other day. If you take 2 paper stickers, the little circles that you stick on kids' homework or whatever,
Huh?
and you take some match head scrapings and a little scraping off the side of a matchbox,
Mhm.
put it together in that, and then you can tap it.
Pop.
Yeah, you should put that in there. That's a simple one.
Well,
And that's it's caps.
if you want to watch Cedar's eye twitch cybernetically, the formula for ammonium or nitrogen triiodide is very, very simple. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that 12-year-old boys can make it in the backyard, allegedly.
Well, they can also make black powder, which is even simpler.
Well, actually, black powder is more complicated than ammonium triiodide.
Well, yeah, but you can go to the barn and get some of the ingredients, go to the charcoal bag for the grill and get some of the ingredients, and the only thing you have trouble getting is sulfur, and that's not hard to acquire.
Yes, but iodine crystals, if you have a Nigerian apothecary that will, if you hand 5 naira over the counter, will hand you a bag of iodine crystals. If you reach up over the counter, he'll hand you a bag of iodine crystals, and liquid ammonia is really easy to get hold of. I'm sorry. What? My bad. So no, I was looking at notes for flash to bang time, and how to flash to bang, which every kid ought to know how to do, is in the Boy Scout handbook. How to find north using your watch or a stick. How to find north using a stick should be something every child knows how. Not only boys, but every child should know how to find north using a stick. Stick and time. How to use a tachymeter to find distance when you have time and speed, or speed when you have time and distance, should be something every kid should know. But again, all of this stuff's in the Boy Scout handbook. Why?
Was.
No point. But you can still get old Boy Scout handbooks on eBay, online. The hell, there's PDFs out there. Other than Cedar's glorious pictures, I'm just not sure there's a market for something that they're selling PDFs off for 99 cents.
Yeah, there is, because people don't know this is all in the Boy Scouts handbook. So they're going to, this is a nice how to make things go boom book, which the Boy Scouts handbook has a lot more else in it, which would be nice if the kids read, but.
And this, again, Law Dog's education, it's not up there. Everybody, the bang stuff is exciting stuff to talk about. But flash to bang time, tracking, basic tracking, there's how to set fire to stuff with a magnifying glass.
For that matter, how to stay warm at night if you're out without a sleeping bag.
And using it, if you've got a reliable time, reliable speed, you can factor distance. If you have a reliable time and reliable distance, you can factor speed. It's fascinating how to use a slide rule, for God's sake.
For that matter, if you've got speed and distance, you can come up with how long it'll take.
Yeah. And all of that is good for me. And I'm assuming other children was fascinating stuff to read. It really was. And I wouldn't. I've told you all about the time that Mom and Dad went to a cocktail party and left us with Uncle Chuck. And when they got back from the cocktail party, we were in the front yard with Uncle Chuck. learning how to remove a sentry, because Uncle Chuck, who'd been a LARP in Vietnam, thought that was a good life skill to have.
And it is.
Maybe not for an 8-year-old. I wouldn't put that in there, but there's there's stuff. But again, it's all in the Boy Scout pre-1980 Boy Scout handbook. I just reprinting that. I'm not sure. Not sure there's actually a market for it.
I don't have any use for removing sentries. I mean, I'm civilian. Haven't been in the military for 40 years or more. But, I should still, if I want to be able to contact my inner John Wick,
Something about Dangerous Book for Boys. Never read it. Hell, it's what we're talking about. Probably already out there. Called the Education Law Dog because the stories and anecdotes are what make it copyrightable. Am I allowed to do anecdotes? Because I'm not sure most of the anecdotes will. There's not a lot of anecdotes to go with making a match head rocket.
You sure there is? You could talk about the your mother's methods of improving them.
There's not much to. There's not much. Flash to bang time. Not a lot of anecdotes about how to figure flash to bang or why to figure flash to bang. I mean,
yeah, you could come up with one. Nobody says they can't be fictional anecdotes.
I don't know. I'm not sure I know how to do fictional anecdotes.
Well, we could, if all else fails, we can always go back and do the 11-year-old warlord.
No, not yet. I don't need to get canceled yet.
But I like the 11.
So do a lot of people, but I cannot write that story down. We damn sure can't illustrate it. Holy shit. Imagine illustrating that? Holy shit.
Well, you had it written down because I've read it.
No, well, yeah, I have. On lockdown Facebook pages, I wrote a condensed version, and when drunk, to my eternal regret, told the expanded story at a con, and everybody thought it was funny, but
I still love getting in trouble for stealing a bad chicken.
Go back and steal good chicken. Homeschooled. Since I was home, well, I don't know if tutors count as homeschooled. I guess they do. Classified. Yes, tell that story next year. No, hell no. No, I'd have to redact. Half of the story would be, and then I redacted, and then redacted, and then I redacted, and we left. And you two need to go get. Oh shit. Okay. Apparently, 8 minutes passed. Tell it fool's gone. I have told it fool's gone. I think. I don't know. Anywho, so Sanford, anything to announce?
Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Don't sweat the petty stuff.
AJ, anything to announce?
I do believe Sanford covered it just well enough.
All right. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you Thursday. This is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Hopefully Jim's back will be unfuckulated, and he can be sitting here instead of me, because y'all don't want me on here. I tend to do 55-minute rants.
I found it quite pleasant.
You did. I don't know if they did. All right. Y'all be safe.
Considering the comments they got, I think they've considered it.